All right, so this is Lucky Jack. He knows nothing about bridge conditioning or target training. He just ate dinner, so his face is a little bit of a mess. But I am going to go in and condition the clicker. We use classic conditioning, Pavlovian conditioning, to condition whatever sound you want to be, your bridge signal, your signal that bridges a time lapse between the moment which they do something right and when you can reinforce them. So it's kind of a yes signal. You can bookmark that moment in time and then feed them later, but they remember what earned them the click. So it's a really important communication tool, and that it's paramount in communicating through positive reinforcement. So I need to teach them the clicker, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, while I'm conditioning that clicker, it's just click, feed, click, feed, click, feed. I do have one very important criteria that I need to establish, and he doesn't know yet, and that is to keep his head turned away. So I don't want him mouthing me, pushing on me, and at first he probably is going to. He's going to smell the food and want to go towards it. So I need to establish that he keeps his head away, and this is a lesson that should carry on from place to place to place. So it should carry on down the road as he keeps going. But it's really important at this moment in time that we establish those parameters, those healthy boundaries. All right, so let's get started with Lucky Jack. Okay, Lucky Jack, back up. There we go. Okay, so you can see right off the bat, he smells the food, and you can see, and there I had to kind of shoo him away. I'm going to go back towards his shoulder. Good, because going back towards his shoulder makes it more difficult for him to actually reach the bucket. So as he is keeping his head, so he's coming back a little bit, he will get tired at some point, and he moved away just a little. And notice I don't feed him right where, I don't feed him at the feed bucket or while turning his head. I try to reach out and feed him more where he is. Excellent. So there it can be that quick as far as, he doesn't know anything about it. This is the first time he's ever seen this. So as he wants to turn and face me, which is kind of normal, I kind of stay with him. The parameters of the stall kind of help because we have walls. It's okay. Easy does it. Good. So again, as he's leaving, I always click on the action I want to see more of, which is leaving the bucket. And there I like that he pulled his head forward. Even though he's still chewing, I just go up and reinforce him. So he starts learning, hey, that pushing on her doesn't get me food, but having my head forward does. Excellent. So I'm taking advantage of the points where I can make the point and reinforce him, building up the reinforcement history with the correct thing. Excellent. And I may sometimes just have him with his head forward, but a lot of times through their own criteria, they will raise their own criteria and start turning their head away. And just there I clicked, I could see his eye. It was kind of looking at me, and it kind of started to look towards turning his head away a little bit. And I overtrain it a little at first because it kind of drives the point home for him. It's the very opposite of coming towards me is turning away. So it is a little overtraining. Now I'm watching to be sure that he's not being mouthy. I like that he's not spinning around. Good. Now I kind of got his timing was that he was starting to move around. Now I always watch that he is kind of, what his mouth is doing and his feet. Okay, I just try to stay with him. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. Okay, so now we got him with his butt against the wall. Wow, he's really bendy. There you go. Up here. He's very bendable. He can bend right around. Most horses aren't quite so comfortable doing that. Very flexible. Good. And him trying the wrong thing, him all of a sudden getting really deliberate about wanting to get the food, that's actually part of the learning curve. Sometimes they need to try the wrong thing so they can rule the wrong thing out. Now I just need to look for him. Good. I wanted to get a reinforcement in where he's keeping his head forward and not keep coming back to me where we're accidentally getting a superstitious behavior where he thinks, oh, touch her and then put my head forward. I want him just to keep his head forward. Excellent. So that's very good. I'm going to go to the other side. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to have a new issue. A lot of times you go to the other side and it can be a whole new ball of wax. Now I'm utilizing him still being kind of eating because it helps him not to feel so desperate to want to get the food. And he did just eat dinner, so he's pretty food motivated, I'd say. And I haven't worked with Lucky Jack at all, so. Good, excellent. So there where I don't care if he's looking at the dog playing in the aisle or what it is, but he turned his head away, so I say good. That's what I want to see more of. So I'm putting a little bit more time in between the reinforcement so I'm giving him time to figure it out. I want him this time. So I let him try to make a decision this time. Before I kind of just kept reinforcing him. So I'm looking for him to keep his legs still. And sometimes I find, not always, but sometimes putting a hand on the shoulder kind of steadies him a little bit. Good. And I kind of pushed his head away just ever so slightly with my thumb. Just kind of to help guide him to do the right thing. Good. Because you want to help set him up for success. And I want him to figure it out. Good. Again, I'm clicking as he's turning his head away. Good boy. Good. Good. So there I let him wait just a little bit longer. Good. Now, what I like there, I had my hand kind of touching his leg, and I could feel a little shift, and I thought, oh, he's going to start one of his, whirling around the stall things, and he didn't. So that was a good decision on that part, and that's why I drew attention to that moment in time. Good. Okay, let's try the other side. And as you can see, this is very reinforcing. Let me get on the other side. It's very reinforcing. Good. Excellent. And because you're just conditioning the sound of the click. Excellent. So that was good. He didn't kind of get as pushy and persistent in between. So we're going to leave it there. I think that was a great start. I'm going to put the rest of this in his bucket. That was a great start for Lucky Jack to get to be doing the bridge conditioning, getting the idea. Now this lesson needs to be done over and over and over. I mean, well, not that many times. I like to do it for 3 to 4 days, about twice a day, and just do little 5-minute sessions where you're just going in and it's just building up 2 things. The sound of the clicker gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and then the turning the head away becomes part of the whole training process. So they just learn that as a criteria to maintain. So you want them, when in doubt, to go back to that behavior, and that's what indeed they will. So that's the very beginning. So next we're going to do target training. Okay, here we go. We're starting target training. Now, he just got done with his bridge conditioning session, or the clicker conditioning session. So I don't recommend going right to it right away. But but we're going to, because I want to demonstrate for the video. So I'm going to go right in to doing the target training. Now, keep in mind the clicker doesn't hold the full value that it will when you really get going. It's really important to get that clicker to mean something, but we're going to move ahead just so I can demonstrate the target training for you. Okay, here we go. Now this is a target. This is the same kind of target we used at SeaWorld. And this is where Good, very good. This is where I got the idea for that. Now, just out of curiosity, he went to smell it. He's like, what is that? And I clicked and reinforced. Now, again, I like this side bucket because it's small enough I can cover it with my arm. Now, see, he's not so good with his last lesson, is he? Stop. Target. Good. There you go. And I kind of shoot him away again because he's just being a little bit persistent and he's getting a little bit, he's kind of a mouthy horse is what I'm kind of sensing, at least in this scenario. Target. Good. Very good. Now, I'm trying to make it more reinforcing to touch the target. So I kind of went to a place where it was harder to see me. Target. So there we go. I moved myself where the bucket was further away, the target was closer. And whatever you can do, this is kind of where you got to make a judgment call. Whatever you can do to help set your horse up for success. So I moved the bucket kind of out of his view until he gets solid with that. I can do that to help him out. So it gave him a little bit easier choice. Now again, he has never seen a target before. This is his first time. Good. Seeing a target. So this is how quickly they pick it up. When he sees it and he just starts learning, oh, touching the target is good. And pretty soon the target becomes their friend. Their target becomes something that is kind of a source of security for them. And you can use it for trailer loading, for clipping, the whole gamut there. And so with the, like with trailer loading, the trailer kind of becomes an incidental. Even horses who have an issue with the trailer, they see the target and they think, oh, just touch the target, no big deal. So it's, and then they kind of forget that they're good, that they are actually loading in the trailer. So it's a very important tool for a lot of things. But even if I know that I'm going right to under saddle, you know, I'm working on lead changes or something, I will still use the target because it helps to teach them to learn. It gives them another step up the ladder of solving the puzzle and learning how to think and learn how to do something to earn their reward. So he's doing it. He's not quite deliberate yet, but you can see that he is getting there. Target. Good. Very good. Now I'm going to go to the other side. This is going to put the bucket closer to him and it's going to be a little bit more challenging, I think. But we're going to give it a whirl. Target. Good. That was very good. And that was excellent. That was a good choice for him because you could see last time that wasn't the choice he was making. He's like, well, there's that bucket. But he's starting to put together. Target. Good. Now, pretty soon, I want to have the target high, the target low, the target, you know, you can do stationary targets where you mount them. So I'm having it a little bit lower this time. Good. Very good. And you can see his eyes and his head turned towards it. So that was excellent. So that's very, very good. Target. Target. So there he has a little bit of a step back. And a lot of times that's good. That's just part of the learning curve. You know, they have to sometimes rule out that that doesn't get me reinforced, but this does. Target. Excellent. Now, I don't know that he even touched it all the way there, but I like that I saw for a second, thought he was going for the bucket, and he made a choice to go to the target instead. Good. Excellent. So we're going to end there with that. So that was a really good, some really good progress for him. Good boy. Here I come. And so putting the rest of his feet in his tub. So that was some really good progress for him. So he started to put together and touching the target. You could see he was getting kind of deliberate about it. It didn't look like an accident. Kind of at first it does. And you could see him making good choices. So that's the beginning of target training.